From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Tuesday, August 27th, 2019, and it's the Relevant Podcast, and we just felt like bringing the party this week. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios. I'm enunciating that better now. I noticed when I listen back, I run through that. Our Orlando.
No, you don't need to enunciate. Watch. Go ahead. Call on me.
Here with me in our Orlando studio, on the ones and twos, our illustrious brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Gatorland, Florida, Eddie Big Hat Koffoltz.
Well, I'm enunciate. Who cares?
From Nashville, Tennessee, author, speaker, podcaster, cowgirl extraordinaire, Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents.
See, I notice when we do the same thing all the time, autopilot, I just kind of rush through the words. And I heard the podcast last week, and I was like, I literally blended 4 words right there. So
it does become kind of liturgical. Every once in a while, you got to step back and go like, what am I saying? Oh, that's right.
What is actually happening here?
I am going to do better. A little behind the scenes for our lovely listeners. Thank you for joining us today, by the way. We've had a weird morning. So all the tech that could go wrong has gone wrong.
Yeah.
In terms of tech going wrong, we don't want to point fingers, but...
Chandler, what did you do to the internet in Virginia? It's been on the fritz today. The whole Commonwealth is on the fritz. You tripped over something down there, didn't you? The connector between the South. Thanks a lot, Chandler.
Gotta be
The connector between the South.
I tripped on it. I did not see.
The old Civil War line. We remember.
Yeah, exactly. It just runs right through people's yards all the way up here. So,
my God,
Chandler hit it with a weed whacker last night. So thanks, dude.
We have a great show in store for you. I was reminded on Twitter this week that I say we have a great show for you coming up later, and I reveal the guest, and a Twitter listener said, when we clicked the episode, we saw who the guest was or is. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Interesting. But we assume you don't read or can't read. So try to give it to you in audiobook form.
And you have that weird disorder where you can't recognize faces. I'm sorry if anyone has that.
Yeah.
That's clearly, this is for those listeners.
Start your own beloved podcast.
Speaking of faces, did you guys notice we updated the Relevant Podcast cover art?
I love that picture of us so much.
All of our faces.
I didn't see it. Which one is it?
It's the couch one where you're
one where I'm laughing at Jesse.
Yeah, it's delightful. I was a real delight in that photo, so I approve heartily.
I'm just happy that Tyler's not in that picture because while he is often on the show and he's on it more than me, he is, and please, let's remind him of this on Twitter, he's not as beloved. I don't care if he goes viral this week. He's just not.
Yeah.
He did, didn't he?
He had a nice viral moment. He was, he tweeted, here's the thing. We all have our different lanes on Twitter. Mine is like twice a year I'll do a joke. Annie is always delightful. Cameron, you kind of pick your spots here and there if you got something to tweet about. Eddie, I know you like responding to people. Tyler goes for the hot takes.
He does.
And this weekend, he went viral with a tweet about our president and our president's Bible knowledge or lack thereof. We don't know because he refused to say his favorite Bible verse. But Tyler, he was all over the internet this week. So
he really was. All of a sudden, it was people. I forget what his name is from the Roots is retweeting him, and I'm like, what is going on?
Wait, the guy from Roots retweeted him. The main guy?
No, not Questlove.
Not Quest. Yeah,
but still
Black
a
Thought?
Root.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not Black Thought.
Oh, a Root retweeted.
James, I think James. Is it Poisner or Point? I think. Yeah.
I was on a flight with him one time. Very nice guy.
I'm sure. Lovely.
I gave him a hat tip. I gave him a look and a point like, I know who you are, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to blow up your spot. And he kind of nodded his head like, thanks, Chief. Thanks, Chief.
Cool.
Very polite.
That's really
very
cool.
polite. Very polite.
Is that what you do when you see a celebrity in the wild? You just kind of do the, I see you.
I never. Yeah, well, it depends. If I can corner them I will, and I will talk to them. You know, like
Really?
that happened with Questlove. I saw him at an airport, and I chit chat with him for a sec. Same with Michael Vick, hometown legend here.
I love Michael Vick.
I know, me too. And he's very
cornered
cool.
Michael Vick.
I did.
I would too. I would too.
But if I can't get them alone, I'm not going to just approach them and make their whole scene awkward. So that's typically my strategy.
I'm bad at that. I've never been successful in the well, no, that's not true. One time I was in an airport security line with Kanye and struck up a conversation.
That's right. That's right. Because you guys were both on like a 60 minutes. You were both interviewed for like a 60 minutes piece.
It was it was the 1 week of my life I had an icebreaker to say hello to Kanye. It was that week. This was like 2004. Jesus Walks had blown up. And that week, 60 Minutes did a segment on like crossover Christian music, secular music. So like POD was on it. Jesus Walks was highlighted, and maybe Switchfoot or something. Maybe not. I forget who. And I was the color commentary because irrelevant. Like they interview me. Mm-hmm. And so like and then on that, it aired on that Sunday. And then like on Wednesday, I'm at LAX in line with Kanye. Like literally he's the person in front of me. And I said, excuse me, I don't mean to bother you, but did you happen to see the 60 Minute segment that you were on this week? I mean, when am I ever going to have an opening like that?
Yeah,
right.
He goes,
perfect.
He goes like, no, I haven't seen it yet. And he kind of like turned back, like, don't talk to me. And I said, oh, okay. Well, I was actually on it with you. And then he's like, oh, what's
Okay.
up?
Now,
and he like turned and we talked for like 20 minutes. He's a nice guy.
That was the last time he ever flew a
Commercial.
public.
I know. It's true. It's
Right,
2004.
right.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what's funny? Mentioning Kanye West in the wild. There's a picture of him that was floating around Twitter this weekend. There's a woman. She is seated at a table at the Cheesecake Factory, and she's trying to covertly take a picture of behind her, and the person at the table is taking the picture of her covertly taking the picture, and standing behind her is Kanye West looking directly at their cameras. He knows that they're taking a picture of him at the Cheesecake Factory. You know, at that point, just say something. Don't be weird about it. He knows everyone's taking pictures. Just walk over, get him a slice of an exotic cheesecake, and say, "Nice to meet you, sir. Enjoy this dessert
cheesecake.
on me."
Give me 3 options of an exotic cheesecake, Jesse. 3 flavors.
Have you been to Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah. I want to know what you define as exotic. So that's why I'm asking. Give me
Anything
3 of the
that's just
exotics.
Anything that's just not cheesecake.
Oreo is an exotic. Oreo is just Oreo cheesecake.
No, that's very exotic. And
Blueberry?
that's what I would choose.
That is not very
Blueberry.
exotic. Are you thinking like a mango sauce?
Listen, I haven't even... The Cheesecake Factory gives you that 3-ring binder when you walk in, and I haven't even scratched the surface. All I'm saying is if you see a celebrity in the wild at Cheesecake Factory, the polite thing to do is to purchase the most exotic piece.
So what do you do? Okay, so you're like a pro at breaking the ice with people and talking to celebrities. I was in the airport security line in Atlanta, about 3 people behind Anthony Bourdain one time.
Yeah.
And when, the back and forth of the line, when he turned, we locked eyes. And I was like wanting to say something to him because he's like a hero. And he immediately looked away and kind of gave me that look of, do not bother me. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah.
And so I respected the eye code. And 100%. I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything to him. I mean, I don't want to be bothered if I'm him. Sure, I get it. And then right before we get up to the security guy, people from behind me come up to him and say, "Can we take a selfie?" And he obliged them. And then boom, he's gone. He's past security.
Right.
And I blew it. I still think about it.
This is why I always am carrying around a slice of cheesecake. In that situation, in the airport line, if you would have said, "Mr. Bourdain, big fan of your work.
Big fan.
Here's a piece of Oreo cheesecake. It's been in my bag for 2 weeks waiting for a moment I run into someone like you."
Oreos.
Exotic street.
Cheesecake doesn't go bad, does it? You're a professional chef. Anyway, nice to meet you, sir. Congrats on the show and the success. Yeah, that's a little strategy, little pro tip there.
Mm-hmm.
I got flustered because I was a huge fan of Anthony Bourdain, so I turned into like a little, like I got nervous, like I didn't know what to say to him.
Also, Jesse, you and I have a correction and apology, which we don't really run that segment anymore.
Great.
But we could not have been more wrong about Sam playing for Chicago.
Yeah, Sam plays for the Bills.
Sorry.
I apologize.
And I knew it too, and it just didn't sugar in my brain when we were talking about it. So my apologies.
I'll be honest, a lot of last week's shows were a blur to me.
Yeah.
I listened to some of them back. I'm like, I don't even remember having this discussion.
I feel like that would be always you. That you say
much
so much on here that you'd be like, what did I said that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but it was
exactly.
compounded with magazine deadline last week.
Yeah,
And Jesse was
they
out one of the days last week. So he did a 5-day work week in 4 days, plus mag deadline, plus 2 shows. It was
And
a
I
lot.
have
Plus
no-
family trip to Busch Gardens, which
Right,
I mean,
right,
it's
right.
like you feel like
Busch
you ran a
Gardens as
marathon
well.
after amusement
I
park
have no
day.
excuse. I just wasn't paying attention. I was being a dumb.
So to our friend Sam Ocho, who former Chicago Bears player who was on a cast member on the Relentless Sports podcast, we apologize that we did not correctly state that you are now a player for the Buffalo Bills. So
How long's he been with the Bills?
Yeah.
Is there like a
This is his first season.
okay, great.
This
So there's a
first
little
Yeah.
statute of limitation thing here
Yeah.
that it's
Yeah,
not like he's
exactly.
been
It's
there
no
5
big deal.
years.
No.
Everything is just fine.
No,
I
just
was-
happened.
a piece of cheesecake is on the way to patch
Yeah.
things up. Cheesecake does a lot, can undo a lot of damage, people. So just
I hear Cheesecake
relax.
Factory is huge in Buffalo. Just huge. I don't know why. I just feel like it would be.
And they got Niagara Falls. I've been to Niagara Falls twice, and both times I've been like, it's insane how big it is. Like if you've never been there, nothing can prepare you for how giant the Niagara Falls. But the only thought I have is I would definitely make it out alive in a barrel.
Oh,
Like,
gosh, of
I
course
could
you
go
thought
over
that.
the falls in a barrel and be just fine. Like I could. So many people have done it. There's like plaques up all over the place to tell you how many people made it over in a barrel.
Oh yeah, it's
Wait,
like
if
no
I-
big deal.
Have I told y'all the time I went to Niagara Falls, but I went to the Canada side and they let me in fine. And then I didn't have my passport and America wouldn't let me back in
Whoops, a daisy.
So do you have to sneak back into the country in a barrel?
in a barrel. That was the only way. No, we just had to be super sweet because my friend and I drove over, spent the night in Canada, and then we're driving back over, and it was like 4:35 a.m. because of a meeting we had to be back in the U.S. for.
Yeah.
And I looked at the guy, I was like, oh my gosh, I never one time thought about bringing my passport from Nashville. And he asked 1,000 billion questions, searched the whole car.
I'm going to assume that was under a different administration because, from my understanding, the border
100%.
policy has changed.
This
Just
was
where sweet
7
talking at
years
the
ago,
border
maybe 6
doesn't
years
really
ago.
play. Yeah, I mean, the good old days, you could go back and forth from America and Canada with nothing but a slice of cheesecake for the border guards.
Well,
you know?
he took a picture of my license and he wrote me, he said, just so you know, you're going in the system and the next time you're stopped, it will pull up on your, attached to your driver's license.
Defector.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow,
exactly.
Annie, I can't
Oh, I
believe
avoided Vietnam, you guys.
How did those guards? I mean, that's their whole job, is just talking to well-meaning, lovely Americans who just weren't paying attention. I mean, that's all they do all day. I can't believe they don't have like a go to the line 2, fill out a form, we'll let you back in, no big deal. I can't believe it's still a thing because everybody does it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you're trying to leave a parking garage and you just, oh my goodness, I don't have money. Well, you just fill out a form and then
Yes.
you're fine. They let you
Or
out.
do
Right.
what I do. Do what I do every time in a toll booth. I just ghost it. I
just
throw
buzz
fake
right
money.
through?
I throw fake. I don't have any. Who has loose change these days? I
Nobody.
act like I'm throwing change, and then I look at the camera and I'm like, "You saw me just throw it into the basket. Like it's your technology. It's not working. I just fake throw it. It works every time.
Oh,
I've never
my
gotten
gosh.
taken. Never gotten taken. I don't believe in tolls. I am principally against tolls. They are against my sense of liberty. Like I should not be. I already pay my taxes. You don't need. You don't need to.
It's a different
get
entity.
Pocket change
The people who you pay taxes to are not the ones who built that toll road.
doesn't make any sense. They can figure it out because
They can pass the money around.
Here in Florida, the state does roads, counties and cities do roads, and the federal government does interstates. Well, if there's an opportunity to improve the transportation that doesn't fall in any of those budgets, you can create a separate entity like we have the Expressway Authority. It's a separate entity that's not taxpayer subsidized, and they can build whatever the roads they want with the money. It's a for-profit business, and so they have to charge you to use their private road.
big government building needless roads. That's welcome to 2019 America, ladies and gentlemen. The good old days, you could there weren't even lanes. You just drive where you think people on the horses and buggies said the way this country was founded, they cared about, it's just insane. We've gotten,
I haven't
you're
heard a
getting a
word.
political thing, but
I haven't heard a second of this conversation since we stopped talking about Buffalo. All of a sudden, we got into tolls, and I just glazed over and hopped on my phone.
Jesse, I have never seen you get revved up for a hard. You were going for a hot take.
Since
you
Floss.
pulled back. You pulled back.
I pulled
mid-rev.
back because it's
He revved
pointless.
up earlier when his internet wasn't working.
That's true.
He's
it's
really
pointless.
frustrated.
Pointless.
Mr. Big
I've
Boy.
never seen that, Jesse. I've never seen that genuine. That was like pure distilled frustration. And I've not seen that come out of you without a laugh afterwards until this morning.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
it's-
it's rare. It's a rare
It's hard to
sighting.
see.
It's like a Sasquatch.
I
It's
wish I'd have
something-
videoed it. I'd have put it
It's
on the
something
internet.
to
I just
behold.
didn't know.
A Jesse Carey frustration
Videoed
moment.
it.
I want to talk about adult frustration for a moment, if we can.
Okay.
I put a note in here. I'm just going to jump right to it, Cameron. I had, and I'm not going to do a sports
I was
thing.
trying to get to this. I thought your Sam Ocho apology would have
No,
gotten us here, but you guys pivoted toward toll roads. I don't know how.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Here we go.
I had my annual fantasy football draft this weekend.
See,
right?
look at that. I'm always thinking about segues. We were talking about an NFL player. I knew he wanted to get to an NFL draft story. I
But
was
your
ready
cowgirl
for it.
extraordinaire's got some other things on her mind.
There
So
you go.
That's what I'm saying.
I rode
Adult
us into I
frustration.
rode us off into the sunset. You brought us back.
Talking about Niagara Falls and Buffalo and toll roads. Come on, get me back to my
and
segue.
So you
So
and OJ Simpson were both on doing the
Yeah,
draft.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
incredible to watch him.
Yeah,
That was really funny.
Yeah. In case people didn't see, O.J. Simpson was in a fantasy draft and drafted Andrew Luck, who retired moments after O.J. Simpson drafted him, presumably because he found out he's on O.J. Simpson's team. So I was at my fantasy draft, and I've been in the same league for a very long time. And these dudes that I'm in this league with, we get together. I only see them like some of these guys I see once a year now. But I've been in this league with these guys since I've known these guys since we've been teenagers. All of them,
That is all
right?
your friends except us.
People fly in for this draft.
Oh
okay?
my gosh.
Like, this is a big
Wow.
deal. But, it's a big deal. Like I said, we've all known each other our whole lives. This is this is the only time of year I see a lot of these guys. People fly in from all over the country for this draft, right? And the propensity, there's a proportionate relationship with the older and more mature each person in the league gets to how over the top draft night gets. Like, these are all grown men.
What
right?
does over the top mean? With excitement or with snack amounts or what?
No, with hostility towards one another. Okay?
Is it like that comedy The League that was on maybe Comedy
FX.
Central or something?
Yeah.
FX. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
a great show. Is that y'all's crew?
It's basically that crew but there's 12 of us. And so like last year, I thought we kind of peaked when one guy in the middle of draft tried to rip a football jersey off the back of another player during the draft. And it came to a shoving match.
What?
This week-
joking? Like joking?
No. It gets heated. And that's what, so this is how heated it got this year. Okay, because these are all professionals. This happened between a lawyer and a guy who owns some Jersey Mike franchises. Okay, like I said, these are respectable humans. Okay, these are functioning members of society. A lawyer and someone who owns restaurants. And so during the draft, they're talking back and forth, and one of them takes a player. The lawyer stands up and says, "If you don't shut your mouth, I'm going to knock you out and drop you off behind a subway tonight." And at that point, it's like,
Great joke, though.
yeah, because he owns Jersey Mike's. It was the ultimate slap in the face. We literally had to take a pause and a breather. Are you guys in any kind of league situation where you have adults acting more immature than they did when they were doing this as teenagers? Because I'm seeing a proportionate relationship to the older we get, to the more hostile these kind of gatherings get. Or is it just me and my friends?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
just
that
you and
sounds
your
like
friends.
you. Yeah, that's
buddy.
you guys.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we're pretty good over here. Cameron, I think it's fine.
I'm fine.
If people could see Jesse's face, he just literally
Yeah, it's just you and your
frustratedly
buddies.
blew air out of his mouth like he was blowing up a balloon.
Yeah, like the internet's down again, and Dana hasn't called the service provider.
Yeah. And no one has cheesecake for me. I don't
Jesse,
know.
how
I just
long does a draft? And so this is me not ever doing fantasy football. Is this take like 45 minutes and then y'all eat dinner together?
No. This is an auction draft. The draft alone's 3.5 hours. It's a whole day, though. I mean, there's a top golf thing. There's the hostility's been building all day, but the draft itself's about.
I mean,
3.5
that's
hours.
the thing about fantasy football for people, right? Is it is like a major social connection. It's why people do it, right? It's not about money per se. I mean, everybody gets a little money if you win, but
Yeah.
It's mostly just like you're
It's
really
just
in
bros
with these
being
guys.
bros.
Right?
But I'm sure there are women who do it
Yeah,
too.
there's plenty of women who do it too. But it's like an excuse to act like a child, as an adult, as a respectable adult. It's your last chance to act like a child. So
Right. Okay.
I'm just disappointed no one else is sharing this experience.
So for
though.
you spend the entire day doing this. Your wife and children are fine with that. Daddy's gone this weekend, just kind of a thing.
They understand. It's once a year. I told somebody, as an adult,
It's
you don't
one
have
day. Yeah, really. That shouldn't be.
if you have but as a
Dana's
kid,
a
you have
champ.
as a kid, you have Christmas morning that you look forward to. As an adult, you have fantasy football draft day. Like it's the big day of the year. It's circled on the calendar.
Plus, this has been part of the total package of being married to Jesse since the very
they
beginning.
knew that it was in the vows. There was a fantasy football reference in the vows.
Right.
She knew what she was getting into. Like I bought the whole family a cheesecake. They were just fine.
An exotic one.
So so that was the story. That was the punchline.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if any
had
of
a
you guys
fantasy
share
draft.
this experience.
What you wanted to do was pitch to us and all of us be like, yeah, we also have stupid friends, but none of us have these dumb
You
friends.
also are breaking up fights between people you've known your whole lives that are like, adults like in their late 30s. Like, but I guess I'm the only one who shares that experience. So there we go.
Yeah, that's yours. That's your experience alone.
Well, okay.
That's funny.
Sorry to tell you.
Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, Greg Laurie joins us. He's an author, pastor, and evangelist. He did the 30th Southern California Harvest Crusade. But that's not what he's coming on to talk
the show
about.
notes. I know. Why are you even saying this? Just move on.
He's coming on to talk about the importance of evangelism for the next generation, which is obviously a major focus of him. But he has a new book out about the spiritual legacy of Johnny Cash. This is kind of an unexpected thing.
Let's go, Nashville.
And why he thinks the country music icon is so misunderstood. We also, Relevant Books back in the day, 2006, published a book about the spiritual legacy of Johnny Cash. So we'll compare notes with Mr. Laurie, see if we agree with his assessments.
Do you know they baptized over 500 people at that crusade this weekend?
Did they really?
Yeah. Isn't that incredible?
Amazing.
A lot of people. I wonder if it was like the Righteous Gemstones where they were all in a big wave pool. Have you seen this show yet?
Yes. It's so good.
I cannot recommend it, but it is unbelievable. It's Danny McBride's new HBO show, and it's about like a mega church family of pastors. And I cannot recommend it and definitely cannot recommend it enough. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, well, stay tuned. Coming up next, it's Slices. Listening to Bari. The song is Clovers. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Stevie Wonder with Sir Duke. And no, that's not a new release this week. We just felt like it. It's kind of the end of the summer. Just felt like throwing down. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
All right, what do you have, Jesse?
All right, well, this one was sent to us by a listener, and I really wanted to talk about it.
Really?
Because,
I thought you took pride in not crowdsourcing Slices suggestions.
I usually don't. Usually the ones
He
people share
does
with me,
pride
I have no interest in. But this one was right up my alley because it had to do with creative justice.
I knew it. As soon as they tagged us, I knew you were bringing this one.
So there is a judge in Montana, right? And they have this policy. This particular judge has a policy in Montana where, there are certain programs that if you are a United States veteran, that if you served our country in the armed forces and you run into legal trouble, there are special programs available to you that this judge makes available that can, if you do, will lighten your sentence. So two guys got in trouble. And was going before the judge and said they were veterans. They said they both served because they're like, if we say we're veterans and we can get off like our sentence and get these special programs, then it won't be as bad. Well, guess what? They were lying. And so, wow. So the judge found out about that, and he was not having it. That's a serious thing. It's called stolen valor, and so he sentenced them. They both received like years in prison for these. They were on their drug charges, but after their sentences are complete, he wanted to show how serious it was to steal valor and say you're a veteran if you're not. After they are released from prison. Okay, first off, I don't know what I'm not a lawyer, but whenever I hear judges doing stuff like this,
you literally act like one all the time.
Yeah, but like it's like this isn't in the books. Like I don't know if this is legal or not, but he's just decreeing it. It's like saying I hereby declare you can't do business with China. Like I'm just gonna throw it out there and maybe this will work. So the judge is forcing these guys to after they get released from prison, they must attend the Montana Veterans Memorial Day Parade. And they have to march in the parade, except they have to wear large sandwich board signs that says, I am a liar. I am not a veteran. I stole valor. I dishonored all veterans at a veterans parade.
No.
This is a parade of
gosh.
veterans.
They'll get beat up.
He probably won't because it's all veterans and they'll all be like super respectful and awesome. But that is pretty darn shaming.
That is so
That is
shaming.
vicious.
They also have to do things like they have to write letters to veterans' families. They got to write apologies to veterans organizations. All that is great, and I think
Lord.
that's. But the
I mean,
marching
that is exactly just the scarlet letter. I mean, right? The having to wear an A for breaking the law of adultery and stuff. I mean,
Right.
like, haven't we
And
moved
who
on?
among us hasn't thought when they're boarding the plane and maybe you're not at status with Delta yet when they say like, hey,
Don't you
women,
dare, Eddie.
children and infants and anybody in the military, you're like, yeah, I could just say I'm in the Coast Guard. Hey, yeah, it's me, Coast Guard Eddie. Here I am. Let me in.
I always wondered if
Coast
they
Guards
check.
are pretty cool. I don't know that they would really. Yeah.
I mean, when somebody walks up there for that group, do they say like I'm in the army,
active military,
or just the fact that you went up there? They assume that you're telling the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, you have they have military IDs, but I don't know that they check it. I think it's just assumed. But I would curious because
But you could just pull an Annie and just be like, "Oh, I don't have my military ID on me right now."
I don't have an ID
Please
on
let me
me
back
on the
into
plane.
America.
I served in the Coast Guard.
But here's a
what
nice
I'll
piece
do.
of cheesecake.
Worked once.
Here's an Oreo cheesecake. Now I'd like an aisle seat, please. I thought this was hilarious. Like, it's not just wearing the sandwich board that says I'm a liar, I stole, valor, I pretended I was a veteran. It's marching in the parade I think is the extra twist of the hilarious knife that really, drives his punishment home. If I was a judge, almost all my punishments would be creative and hilarious like this guy. Like, I just love where his head's at. Like, I'm going to make it as awkward as humanly possible for these two guys. I think it's hilarious. I get that it's like public shaming, but also these guys did something bad. Would you rather have extra time on her sentence or have like to do something humiliating like this? What are your thoughts about this punishment? Because I think it's hilarious.
Well, I mean, you got to think. I mean, if we're talking about that, the punitive system its intent is rehabilitation, and to not have that person do that crime again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then, a few more whatever time on the sentence in jail isn't going to really get through to these guys probably. Yeah. But they will think twice about ever doing anything like this again. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In front of all, I mean, it's not like that's a group of distinguished citizens that you do not want to be ashamed in front of. That's like,
yeah, exactly.
Like if you said, would you take that punishment in front of veterans, or would you take that punishment in front of subway workers? I mean, I'd be like the sandwich shop, not like in New York.
Yeah, I stole a meatball sub, or
That's
I used the forged sub of the month club, or whatever.
But the veterans of our nation,
I forged Subway stamps, and now I'm out here with I'm a liar. I stole Subway. Yeah,
that feels different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels different to me.
Yeah, it's hard for me because while shame is a very motivating factor, I do not like it at all as a motivating factor. I understand. I mean, I don't like it, but I also understand how effective, like deeply, deeply effective it is. But it always just rings as a little problematic for me. But at the same sense, like these guys did something.
What would you have done? Because I agree with you. I think restorative justice can, we need to think outside the lines and like what will actually get through to these guys about this situation. I agree with you. But shame. I know. Seems like we could do better than shame, but like what would have gotten through to them at that level, I
liked all the other ones. I mean, writing letters to families of veterans. Like there were other ones that were like,
but you can do that while you're watching your favorite Netflix show.
Yeah, but that is like more restorative, like seeking forgiveness from the people you've wronged, and like I think there is like a case to be made for restorative justice measures, but this one is just hilarious. He came up with like, comedy. You got to volunteer, you got to apologize, now you got to march in the parade in front of all these people with the same, and two, it's in Montana. That is on the list of states that I would want to do that in.
Nope.
The only one that would be worse is Texas because
that's right.
you don't. I mean, like I said, their slogans don't mess with us, and you're messing with them at that point. You're poking the bear, the Texas-sized bear. But Montana, Cameron, you and I spent a lot of time in Montana. Those are not people.
No,
they do not suffer fools in that part of the country.
No, they don't. I just like this is like Scott's tots for me. Like having to march him back up there for him to face the class that he lied to or wronged. This is literally the same thing. These people have to face. Oh, I hate it. I hate everything about it.
I'm tempted. I'm tempted, guys. 5 years from now, when this guy gets out of prison, to go to the Montana Veterans Parade just to see him march down there, just because it's going to be too hilarious and weird. It's going to be too hilarious and awkward. Okay,
they're going to boo him the entire way. They're going to boo him. That's
hiss, boo, hiss, hiss, boo. I got old rotten tomatoes that I'm just chucking at him. It's part of the fun.
At him.
An old fashioned cheesecake in the face.
I don't want to get too deep with it, but I would feel weird as a parent sitting there because I would not want my children to boo this person. So it does turn into like a little bit of like, how does the crowd respond? I know we're getting too deep. It's supposed to be just funny, but that's like, I think it's putting the public in a funny spot too, and endangering them.
I think people should get the option. I think you could say, I'll get 6 months off my prison sentence, or I do this weird, hilarious thing. Yeah. I think if it's an option, I don't have a problem with it. I don't know if they gave me, I think they just tacked it on there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Give the second one.
Okay, I do. This one's a little bit more serious, and I'm interested to hear your guys' opinion. So, Lifeway has done a similar poll every year for like a decade now, and basically to gauge different views about spirituality and values and behaviors among Christians. So, a lot of things actually that were positive increased over years. Like more people are reading their Bible. More people are prioritizing what they call like obedience to Christ, like following through with his commandments. But connections between fellow Christians are actually declining pretty dramatically. So right now, this year, less than half of the Christians polled agreed with the statement, I intentionally spend time with other believers to help them grow in their faith. So less than half said that they hang out with others for like discipleship purposes. And the younger the demographic got, the less likely they were to hang out with other believers. So
hang out with other believers or hang out with other believers to help them in their faith. That feels like two really different things to me.
Well, for the purpose of growing in their faith. And so
because I don't know that I just said yes to that.
You okay, hold on. Let me add one little caveat here, because over 2/3 now say I can walk with God without other believers. Like basically I can go it alone. And the younger the demographic gets, the less likely the people are to have significant relations with people in their church. So if the people like 65 and older, almost half of them had significant relationships with people in their church. When you go down to 18 to 34, it's under 40%. So what the research is showing is less and less people are, Annie, to your point, hanging out with other people to grow in their faith, but they're also less likely to have significant relationships with people that they attend church with or do spiritual things with. It's actually, despite all these other values on the increase, these are in decline. Annie, it sounds like you don't necessarily think that's a big problem.
The question on the survey is what I'm asking, because I'm not sure that I would, if someone said, do you hang out with other believers in order to change your faith or do something about your faith? Like, that's not my intention.
To grow in your
ever.
faith.
Yeah, to grow in your faith.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
That's not my intention. I certainly don't hang out with believers to help grow their faith. That's not.
Yeah.
No, but I do think it's a problem. And, you know, I'm a part of a big church in Nashville. We have a lot of people who come to church that don't have any relationship with anybody else in the church. And that's something we think about and talk about and wonder about from the leadership point of view all the time, is how do we help these people who are showing up on Sundays faithfully, but don't have any friends, connect with other people in a faith community. So I do think it's important to be connected to other believers. I think the purpose behind it might be what throws me off in this question.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you can apply that pretty broadly, right? I mean, to grow in your faith, it's not necessarily like, oh, we're doing theology, but, you know, we're doing sword drills with each other. You know what I mean? Like, I think you can apply the idea of growing in your faith pretty broadly, where if you're having a relationship with someone and it challenges you to be a better person, or it helps you in a difficult time, or, you know, I think those are practical ways people grow in their faith, like overcoming just life adversity.
But that's not your intent in friendship, though. I mean, it's not like I am going to spend time with you so I grow in my faith.
Yeah, but I think I don't necessarily know that, like, it has to be the intent, but I feel like
Trust
the byproduct
me,
of
when we hang out, that is the last thing on my mind.
Yeah. When I'm with any of you,
This is not the time every week that I'm expecting my faith to be any better than what I got.
How dare you?
That's
How
for
dare
sure
you,
true.
Annie? I just proposed two things to you that could seriously help you change the way you see the world. One is offering cheesecake to strangers, just like Jesus would do. The second is a hilarious way to get people to stop sinning, and that's to publicly shame them in Veterans Parade.
You're
You
right,
don't feel like
actually.
you've grown.
You're
How
right.
dare you, Annie? No,
You're right.
But don't you feel like growing in your faith to a degree is a byproduct of friendship? Like, it doesn't have to be like a daily part of your relationship with your friends, but it's like it is a byproduct of like good friendships. I could say each one of you individually, I feel like my faith has been positively effective, and I've got to grow in different areas because of my friendship with you guys. Sure. I mean, we're not sitting here doing like cell group together.
I would say in like seasons of life,
Cell
like
group.
if I'm going through like a hard season, and then like I want to like, let's go talk or something like that. Like I am reaching out to you because of, that, like it's more, and I would turn to you instead of maybe my non-Christian friends, because they wouldn't come from the same place and help me, grow in that way. And that has happened with every one of you in my life.
That's true.
But when we hang out, that's not what's on my mind. It's like, it's more of like moments.
Yeah. My priest made me
First off, Cameron, how dare you? Go ahead, Eddie.
No, I was just going to say my priest made me process down with a sandwich board that said, "I don't know any of you," and it changed me pretty drastically. So I'm going to get back into some small groups.
I don't know any of you.
Daily time or whatever you call it. What is it? The daily thing?
Quiet time?
Quiet time. That's right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to get
been a while.
back into all of it.
Which is that's a rant we've never got on before. Is
No
how
Instagram posts
horrible
about me.
That phrase "quiet time" is. Blech. We can save that for another show, but I'm just saying.
I don't think we did. I think you just did it.
What? Because you just like talking? What? You don't like being quiet?
No, I just think that's the dumbest phrase. Who came up with that? It's not in the Bible. For sure, it's not in the Bible. Who decided we have to call it that? Why can we call it something else that feels more true?
What would you call it? Because I think the intent is you take a concerted portion of your day to quiet the noise of daily life and focus some intentional time on scripture and prayer. It's just quieting the noise of life. Quiet time.
Uh-huh.
Right.
You don't think that's a good name for it?
No.
Maybe you're.
What would you call it?
What would you call it?
Happy time?
Yeah.
Happy time. No, I mean, I just think like I genuinely would rather say, and what I do say is doing a devotion or having my devotion. I like
yeah.
that word better.
In truth, I don't know. I think the problem with quiet time is not necessarily the naming of it, but it is what it came to represent, which was some sort of like currency of faithfulness, as if doing it or not doing it made you better.
How many quiet times have you had this week?
Right. And so there was part of it where there was like affirming and people like checking in and seeing how your soul is. And then there was another real part of it that was like, shaming, since we were talking about that was like, oh, you didn't do it. So it got kind of lost. A very good idea with a pretty normal name got lost in, the messiness of Christianity. But it's hard, Jesse. I am trying to think about your question. I do not think, I think there is zero drive in me to find other people of faith in order to deepen my spirituality. Now, that may be lucky because everybody I'm around, not everybody, but a lot of the people I'm around are people of faith. So when needed, we're all on the same page together. But I don't need to seek out a church to do that. That's just the church of my given community.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing is all the questions that had to do with relational values and the importance of relationships and faith, various phrasings, and even how many people do you actually hang out with in your church? All of those are in the decline when all of these other sort of behaviors that are a reflection of faith values are increased. All the relational ones are declining. I don't know necessarily that's a Christian church problem. I think just by virtue of technology and the way lifestyles have evolved, interpersonal relationships are becoming more and more difficult or are taking different forms. But I just thought it was interesting.
And the role of the church in our social lives is different than it was 100 years ago. Or 30 years ago when I was a kid. Our community, believers and non-believers, our community kind of revolved around 3 churches. And you went to one of those youth groups and that's who you hung out with. And it is, and there's beautiful parts of it, right? There's great parts about that I miss, but also there's some goodness to what's happening now. We just have to sort out how it becomes a better community for everyone.
Yeah. Well, and I think we're watching, some people call it post-church, but it's not. We are watching millennials and what's next shift the definition of how they experience church. It's not to say church isn't there and it's not as viable and critical as it's always been, but it's going to be different. And we're watching that. And so some of it looks confusing because we used to have to be around other believers in order to, make our faith what we, and now they're saying no, that's not the case. But the truth is they might not be finding of the church, but they're still finding people of faith that they can connect with. And so it's not that I don't think the study is saying that they are becoming less faithful. The study is saying that where they are finding those people is different. And so we are watching before our eyes the transformation of what the church will be. And it's scary, but also 100, 200 years ago, the church looked very, very different, yet it still exists. So it's not to be feared, but definitely to be, it's just a seismic shift that we are witnessing
sorting
right
out
now.
For church leaders. We have lots of church leaders who listen here. For sorting out as a church leader, how do we not just keep creating what worked for us when we were students or when our parents were in charge of the church? We should have Wednesday night supper because we've always had Wednesday night supper. Like we need to be looking at what's going on at church and going what do our people need that may be something that's never been done in church before or never been done anywhere before, but is how our community connects. I mean, we can't just do what worked for us. The same is true. When I talk to my friends who are teaching school, you can't just build the classroom you were in 5th grade because you're teaching 5th grade, right? Yes. You have to build what the culture needs now with the historical education that is true. And the same is true in church. We don't stray from what the Bible says and we look at Acts 2 to determine what community looks like, but we combine that with what's going on in culture and what our people need and maybe do something new that's never been done in the church before that provides real community.
Right.
Yeah.
But God help you if you stop playing 10,000 Reasons every weekend. They're all going to leave. I'm just saying that.
So your church growing up served dinner on Wednesday nights?
Yeah.
You got food at church?
I believe she called it supper.
Wednesday night supper.
Yeah,
Wait, so you all would show up and there's a whole bunch of tables?
Yeah, we did that.
The whole gym, the whole Family Life Center is full of tables.
Wednesday night was church night. So you would go It was like a huge
Wednesday night
pop.
was church night for me, but that was like youth group, like midweek service.
Dinner,
the
and
adult-
then it was dinner, and then the parents went to class, and the kids went to class, and the teenager went to Jesse cell groups and our discipleship groups and youth group. Yeah, so dinner was first, and then it was choir or small group or whatever you were doing.
So it was like a big like high school cafeteria situation.
Yeah, it was a gym. I mean, our church had a gymnasium, so it was in the gym. Yeah,
It's like a fellowship hall.
and you paid, I don't know, $5 or something. I don't remember. I could ask mother. I could text my mother. and
How
ask her.
interesting. Was that a South thing?
Please do.
My church didn't do that. We didn't have food.
We didn't have supper, but also like, but it's just interesting that all these numbers are shifting even from years ago. Even the number of people who agree with the statement, I can walk with God without other believers. Like, I think probably if you ask that in, the Acts 2 community, Annie, most of them would say, no, you got to have other believers. That's what this whole thing, that's the lifeblood of this thing. Where now 2/3 of people are saying, yeah, I can do that. I can walk this faith without believers. It is, Eddie, to your point, it is a seismic shift that's happening in recent years.
Well, because now they can like get the podcast of their favorite preachers, and they can get all the teaching experience of the church,
resources.
and so they're like, well, then I'm good, because that's the main thing. I can listen to worship music whenever I want, and I can listen to the best preachers in the world whenever I want. Yeah, I'm good.
It's a la
And
carte.
they're missing the community component.
And Rob Bell, and I don't care if people say something about him. I love him. But Rob Bell says church has a way of bubbling up. And I always appreciated that. Like, yeah, we're not going to outpace the church. It's just going to have to grow under our feet a little bit, and it will still be there, and we will still find church, and we'll get things wrong. Like those 2/3 of people just may be wrong, and they'll learn that, and we'll learn that together. But right now it feels like independence is valued, but that may not work out in the long run, and we'll figure it out together. But it's not like we're going to be in this like post-church faithless situation. We're just going to learn. March.
Although
that's right.
some people point to the fact that we are 10 to 20 years behind what's the shift that's happening in Europe, and you would kind of say that Europe.
Oh, you mean the royal family rules? Then fine, I'm in.
You mean a monarchy? Interested.
100%. Meghan Markle, bell of the ball. I'm in.
All right, what do you have, Annie?
Okay, you guys, 20 years ago this week, the very first website for a band launched. Would you like to guess which band
20
released
years ago,
the first
Smash
website?
Mouth.
Wait, 1999? I don't believe that. That can't be true.
That's according to internet.com.
Okay, well, the Medium has the entire story about, Medium.com has the entire story about the first website that a band ever released.
In 1999.
Oh, no, 1994. Sorry. It's
yeah, that I
1994.
believe.
1994.
25
25 years.
Because
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure I was on the
25 years.
Supertones website in
Yeah,
1999.
1999.
Both of y'all.
Five Iron
I was
Frenzy.
all over. I was all
Everybody,
over the.
let me make a mistake
We were
once
alive
a
then.
year on this show. It's done. It won't happen again in 19. Just move on.
I was on the
25
MXPX
years
bulletin
ago.
board in 1999.
Jesse,
Annie.
just keep eating cheesecake like you've been doing this whole show.
And I just
And
want to say
let's-
that
On
the
my
people
fourth piece.
to the people that are listening, they're like, you
Exotically.
guys always interrupt Annie and never let her finish her slice. I just want to say you've changed me. And Annie, I am so wrong. So please,
1994.
facts don't matter. 20, 25, 4 years ago, whatever.
25 years ago,
Say what you
the
want.
first band had the first website for a band released. Guess which band it was, you jerks.
Smash Mouth.
No, 94. It's post grunge. Who is pop? Who is huge in 94?
You're wrong. Before you work too hard, it's not pop.
Yeah, the answer surprised me. Annie sent this to me, and I was pretty shocked at how. Okay, it's not a
Annie
band
sent this to me, Annie's required to check in her slices before they come to the show.
Annie, well done. That was your first one. I thought it was pretty
Shania
interesting.
Twain. Shania Twain. Is it Shania Twain?
Karen Carpenter.
No, it's not Shania Twain. It's not Aaron
Was it
Carpenter.
the Muppets?
No.
No,
You ready?
Annie-
It's Megadeth.
Megadeth.
Megadeth is the first band, and they called the website Megadeth Arizona because they said they were making a cyber city because that's where they had recorded the album that was coming out. So here's what was on the website. For starters, you should Google and read the piece, but it's just a gray background with blue text, right? Like it's literally the very first band website. And Only Times New Roman was available. They had a news page.
Yep.
They had 30-second music clips. And then they had a chat room and a digital postcard that you could send to your friends in their email.
Of Megadeth music.
Isn't that interesting?
I had my identity stolen in 1994 in the Megadeth chat room, and I've never recovered. I can't go to Canada now. I've never seen the Canada side of the falls. I've snuck in thanks to cheesecake, but I never recovered from what happened in that Megadeth chat room in the 90s.
Yeah, they listed it real quick. I'll tell you, they listed a couple of things that that they attribute to Megadeth having a website. The site drove interest to computers because a lot of Megadeth fans weren't already using computers at all. And so
shocking.
And it got covered in the USA Today, got covered in Billboard magazine. So it really kind of put the internet on mainstream media's radar as far as something that can be used for music. And they claim it is the birth of social media because it was one of the first online communities.
I think we're fine.
So.
I think that was the one that Megadeth took it a little too far. But thanks so much, Dave Mustaine.
That's kind of like Al Gore saying he invented the internet. You know,
And quick
Megadeth
update.
did not
Pam,
invent social
mother,
media.
just texted me back about the cost of family supper, Wednesday night supper. And she said, I don't remember. Just call and ask. So no, that's not going to happen. I don't
Just
care that
call
much.
Can we please call your church right now?
Live on
Talk
the
to
air.
the front desk reception
We
person.
don't even go to that church anymore. It's been 25 years since I was in the building. So we're just going to let that one pass. But my
And he got
apologies.
kicked out for listening to Megadeth.
That
years
is
ago
my
in
mother
the
for
90s.
you to go. No, just call and ask. I don't have any idea.
What's the name of the church?
First United Methodist Church of Marietta, Georgia.
All right, everyone. So go ahead and call First UMC of Marietta
If
and get us
anybody
an
goes to
answer.
FUMC Marietta, what did Wednesday Night Supper cost in 1994 when Megadeth was releasing the internet to all
I'm
of us?
sure there's like a relevant mug in it or something for you. If you would just please just blow up there.
Get to the bottom of this one.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's going to go great for me.
All right, what do you have, Eddie?
I'm going to go quickly because this has been the world's longest slices because one of us always brings two slices. But I just,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Public
I thought
shaming.
we had a riveting
I
conversation.
thought you didn't like public shaming.
he has to wear a sandwich board
Wear a
that says,
sandwich
I bring
board all
too
over
many
the internet.
slices.
At the Cheesecake
At the
Factory.
Cheesecake Factory. That's what I wanted to say too, Jesse.
Just holding exotic. I'm sorry, I just brought too many. What
At
can I
this
do?
point,
That's a
closing your
delightful
jokes has
thing to
become
wear
a
to the
game.
Cheesecake Factory. I was like, that guy brought too many slices. Everyone have one.
Yeah, that's
Continue,
great.
Eddie.
So the world's largest comedy festival is the Fringe
And Eddie,
Comedy
let me
Festival
let me
in
just
Scotland.
Say this.
Yeah.
Congratulations, sir. You just played yourself because that'd be a great thing to wear. Go
You
ahead.
just got burned. So the world's largest comedy
That one.
festival is the Fringe Festival in Scotland.
Yes, I've been to Fringe.
Yes, it's huge, right? Can you speak to
Yeah.
it? I mean, it's like a big thing.
Yeah, it lasts the entire month of August. It's all sorts of things, but comedy it does have a ton of comedy and it's 24 hours a day. You can go to a show 24 hours a day for the entire month of August. It is so fun.
And big deal comics show up. It's not just like
Yeah.
randos. It's like
Yes.
real comics show up. So this is why I am furious at this comedy festival and can no longer
cool.
support it. 2,000 people voted on the funniest joke from the comedy festival. I have read all 10, understand about 8 of them, and 0 of them are funny. So I'm going to just start from the bottom of the list and give you some of the best. This is what
Do I
they
get to
think.
explain it if they're Scottish?
No, because I'm just switching. I'm skipping all the Brexit ones. But
yeah.
for example, here's what they thought was the number 9 funniest joke. Now, this is the largest comedy festival. To be or not to be a horse rider? That is equestrian.
No.
I like it.
I like
agree. That is good.
Right? I accidentally booked myself into an escapology course. I'm really struggling to get out of it.
No. Right? These are just
Escapology
puns.
course? What does that even mean?
These are just puns.
Sleep is my favorite. This is number 6. Best comedy festival in the world. These are like one-liners.
This is the best material from the best comedy festival that attracts the best talent in the world. Okay.
And
Yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
voted. This wasn't just because I was like, okay, if this is some rando list, they're just trying to promote their own people. No, thousands of people voted on this. Number 6, sleep is my favorite thing in the world. It's the reason I get up in the morning.
I'm in for
And
he's
all of
loving
these.
it.
A
And he is
thesaurus is great. There's no other word for it.
That one's hard. That one's hard to love.
This is actually the only one that I actually deeply love. A cowboy asked me if I could help him round up 18 cows. I said, yes, of course. That's 20 cows.
Oh, rounding up.
That was the only one that I actually liked.
I don't like ones you got to think about. I'm sorry. That's a hard pass for me.
Yeah, no. So there was one about Brexit, and nobody actually understands what Brexit is. But
wait, read the one about Eton, because that's very on brand for us talking about having the advantage because of our fathers.
Yeah, I fully did not understand. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that. I don't even. Hold on. I can't get to it. Which one was the Eton one? Oh, yeah.
Here it is.
Number 10.
Okay.
I've got an Eton themed advent calendar where all the doors are opened for me by my dad's contacts.
That's really funny. You guys, it's a
I don't even
super
understand
rich
it.
school. All the doors are open for me by my dad's contacts.
Oh, I didn't know Eton was a super rich school.
Yeah, it's where Prince William went to school.
Even though I know that, it's still.
That's a funny joke. All the doors are open by my dad's contacts, by my dad's friends. That's funny, y'all.
It's funny because none of us are laughing. That's how you know what's funny. Yeah. So let me read number 2 and number 1 so that we can just quit this painful exercise. Number 2, someone stole my antidepressants. Whoever they are, I hope they're happy. Right? And the number 1 joke.
Cameron is dying a slow
death. The number 1 joke
here.
apparently
So
in the entire world right now, according to actual people who appear to know comedy. I keep randomly shouting out broccoli and cauliflower. I think I may have florets.
It's so bad. It
like
just
Tourette's?
Like Tourette's, but florets, like a floret.
It just makes me
florets.
like not feel bad for not liking British comedy. like whenever I watch like Monty Python or something, I'm like, am I the only one that doesn't think this is funny? That this is just terrible? Like, I mean, it's funny for a second that they're running like horses galloping and one guy's clapping coconuts together. But that's like most of the movie, you know? It's disheartening that these are the best jokes in the world. It makes me want to go to this festival next year and not prepare anything.
Do you know what else is great about it? Is the sun, it's the sun is the highest because Scotland is so far north and it's the summer. The sun stays up until almost midnight and then comes back up at like 4. And so you can be out and it's super safe and you're like going to all these different shows and it's the best. Well, I think Scotland is the best, but it's the best. The Fringe Festival is so fun. There's great music. There's great comedians. There's like street magic and all that stuff going on all the time. Jesse, that's what you should go do is go do street magic, buddy.
Yeah, but their street magic, if it's anything like their comedy, their street magic is just wretched and completely pointless.
And not entertaining at all.
I mean, I would stop and watch, but I get it.
Yeah. Sorry, Annie, but you're Scottish. You're 100% Scottish. So what can we do?
100%.
You are total Scottish.
In my heart.
Anyhow, so sorry to put it on blast, but I just had to. It was it made me too angry.
I'm glad you did.
Public shaming. All right.
Public shaming, yeah.
That'll do it for
Slices.
Stay tuned. Up next, Greg Laurie joins us.
I can see the sun is shining on your soul, so let's keep it going. Darling, we don't ever have to go on. Just keep it going. Darling, we got stories left to be told. Let's keep it going. Darling, we don't ever have to go on. Just keep it going. Darling, we got stories left to be told.
You're listening to Surfaces.
We don't need
The song
no
is
honey
Keep
to
It
spread a
Gold.
little honey. We got
Greg Laurie is an evangelist, author, and the pastor of Harvest Christian Fellowship in Southern California. He just hosted the 30th annual SoCal Harvest Crusade, an event that saw the baptisms of more than 550 people. They fill stadiums. He's also the author of the brand new book, Johnny Cash, The Redemption of an American Icon. Our very own Tyler Huckabee recently spoke with Greg about the book, the importance of evangelism, and more. Here's part of our conversation with Greg Laurie.
Yeah, so it was a really good, rich conversation with Greg Laurie. He's a really interesting guy. And I had a lot of different, we covered a lot of ground, and I want to give you just a snapshot into a few of the different subjects that we covered. So it's not a super straightforward narrative, but I think it is interesting. The first thing I wanted to know is Harvest. This is the longest standing, the longest lasting evangelistic conference in the United States. 30 years, very, very impressive. And I was really curious about, like, considering the size, the scope that it's at now. I wondered what kind of beginnings it had, what the origin story of it was. And I appreciated the story that he told.
So I came and did this little Monday night Bible study, and it sort of exploded, and young people were coming out. We were overflowing the sanctuary and going into an auditorium, and we're having 50 to 70 young people come to Christ every week. And so Chuck had this idea of taking it to a larger venue. So we did what he described as a Billy Graham style crusade at the Pacific Amphitheater, which is a 15,000 seat amphitheater in Costa Mesa. And we overflowed it. We did like 4 or 5 nights. We overflowed every night. So we decided the next year to go to the Angel Stadium, and that's where we've been for 30 years. And, I think it's amazing because it's the longest running large scale evangelistic event in American history. There's never been an event like this that happens consecutively. And I think one of the reasons it works is because we're in California. And California is such a transient state. We always have Californians moving out and new people coming in. So it's like a perpetual mission field right in front of us. And when we have people come forward at the invitation to accept Christ, indeed, they're from every state in the United States and from many foreign countries because so many people are visiting California. So it's become something of a phenomena, a Southern California tradition. And I guess the most important statistic is over the last 30 years, we've seen 500,000 people come down on the field and make a public profession of faith to follow Christ.
Wow. I mean, when you look at the numbers and the impact that Greg and his team is making, it's unbelievable. Even I think I mentioned it earlier, even this past weekend at the 30th anniversary, SoCal Harvest Outreach, it was something like over 500 people were baptized there.
And it seems like a very kind of old-fashioned style of ministry, right? When you think about people making public professions in these big stadiums, you think of folks like Billy Graham, Billy Sunday. It kind of comes from a different era. But yeah. Laurie was very, very convinced that it still has a lot of power today. And these styles of these sort of crusades, these evangelistic outreaches still have a place in modern ministry. I was also, in addition to this, really interested, and we'll circle back to talking a little more about that, but I was interested in his work as an author. He's become sort of a go-to guy for the spiritual biographies of people with unlikely spiritual stories. He got his start writing about Steve McQueen and Steve McQueen's own story of coming to faith during his film career. And then after that, he wrote the spiritual biography of somebody that I know means a lot to a lot of people who listen to this podcast, Johnny Cash. And I was really curious about his experiences learning about Johnny Cash and why he felt that Johnny Cash still has a lot of weight and power on today's music scene. And he was of the mind after his research that Johnny Cash actually is better understood by younger generations than the one that he actually came from. Here's what he said.
It's sort of like, to a whole generation of young people, he was like, this voice from the past, this prophet-like figure with these ominous songs about trains and murder and robbery and redemption and forgiveness. He just kind of was one of a kind, and they seemed to almost understand him better than many of his contemporaries. At that particular phase of his career, country music was going in a new direction, and they kind of didn't have time for Johnny anymore. They didn't understand his greatness, really. And it was only after he was discovered by the MTV generation and won an MTV Video Award for his song Hurt, a recording of Trent Reznor's song, and other songs that he did, that country music sort of rediscovered him and gave him the credit he deserved.
We could sit here and talk for a while about Johnny Cash and his music and his legacy. Yeah. My grandfather, I remember, was a big Johnny Cash fan. But yeah, he's right. Those America albums that he recorded with Rick Rubin, which included his cover of Hurt and a bunch of really great covers and originals, really did open up, I feel like, our generation's eyes to his music, but also the man behind it and why spirituality and faith and sort of like this lifelong sort of like prodigal son that he was, he had different times where he had different struggles in his life, but he always kept coming back. And, I think it's so cool, with this new book he has about Johnny Cash, you really get to see the man behind it. I feel like, after Walk the Line came out, people kind of got genuinely interested in his life. but that more focused on his like kind of romantic life and his with June Carter. But with Greg looking at his spiritual life, it really does put a new context to a lot of his best music.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about Walk the Line, and he said he liked it. He said it's a good movie, but he acknowledged, and I think a lot of people who know a lot about the story of Johnny Cash would agree, that the spiritual elements of his life were sort of glanced over and not ignored, but definitely not given the weight that maybe Johnny himself would have said that they deserved. And this led into the final part that I want to share, the last little clip of our conversation. I asked, since he's done 2 of these, is there anybody else he really wants to cover for who you'd like to write a spiritual biography of? And he said he's actually already agreed to write another one, and he's working on it as it already is. And I was kind of surprised because it comes from it's a little bit left field given the guys that he covered in the first one. He says he wants to write the biography of Billy Graham.
Wow.
And here's why.
Now, you might think, well, Johnny Cash and Steve McQueen, why Billy Graham? Because he wasn't a countercultural figure like those 2 were. Well, in many ways, he was the ultimate countercultural figure, because he broke ground, especially in his younger days, and did things that no preacher had ever done before. He was the first guy to use television. He had a movie studio in the 70s, producing films that went into theaters around the country. And, when we think of Billy, we sort of see his face carved in granite up there in Mount Rushmore, potentially. But he was a very innovative, creative, unusual individual, and we don't really have anyone like him on the scene today.
Yeah, it's so, as he was kind of like pointing to, I feel like earlier in the interview, talking about evangelism and, kind of this generation's need for it still. And that's why we're seeing such a big response to things like the SoCal Harvest Crusade. And then you look back at Billy Graham and how he was this innovator and how, evangelism has sort of evolved since the Billy Graham era. But there's a lot of methods that Billy Graham undertook that I feel like could be rediscovered in effective ways to reach people.
And I think Laurie would say that he said that he'd never got to know Steve McQueen or Johnny Cash before they passed away, but he and Billy Graham did develop a friendship, and so he's able to write this not only as a researcher, but as somebody who considers himself a personal fan and personal friend of Graham, which will definitely make it a very interesting. I'll be interested to read it because Billy Graham is obviously an extraordinarily complicated figure, looms large on the American scene, especially the intersection that we cover here on Relevant Faith and Culture. So finding the correct narrative there, the accurate one, is really important to get it right if we want to continue to get the intersection that we talk about here on Relevant right. So I'm looking forward to the book.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's so cool to talk to him, too, not just about the books that he has in motion and not just about evangelism, but especially in the wake of this past weekend when, he was able to share that message of hope and redemption with so many people and had such an incredible response.
That was Greg Laurie. Stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback.
Nah, I'm trying to make a living. Music is a source of all my end and my beginning singing.
You're listening to Sampa the Great. The song is Freedom. Now, a little behind the scenes, Annie had an appointment. So she will not be joining us for feedback this week, but please do not hit stop, all you Annie F. Down fans. I promise we will do our best to make this a wonderfully funny segment. Please keep listening. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week, we asked you, what's the weirdest lie you told as a child? We got, it was one of the questions we asked John Mark McMillan. And it's like, that's a good one. So we asked you, what's the weirdest lie you told as a child? You guys have been sending these all week. It's been really funny seeing some of these. You hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and here are a few of our favorites.
Nicole, this one just seems so observably false, but I like it because this is a double layer lie that she has.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
I like
the biggest lie is
the doubles. Yeah.
Yeah, because she said that she tried to convince a friend that we had a swimming pool in my backyard that was home to my pet seal. She says, not only did I neither have a pet seal, obviously, I didn't have a swimming pool. Like, you could have just had one of those lies and it would have been a pretty good lie. Like, oh, so, her parents got a swimming pool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
a pet seal that lives there.
Yeah, clearly the pet seal is the lie that your friend wouldn't actually believe. But you doubled down. You didn't have a swimming pool. That's pretty good. Pretty good lie.
I love little kid lies. Just the completely pointless, like, what do you even, why would you even try to do this? For example, Anna, I remember a big lie from childhood when I used to keep my little brother in line by telling him that pressing a certain sequence of numbers on the VCR remote would instantly send him to Denmark, of all places. So sure, we learned about Denmark in school. Let's use that. Denmark. Surprisingly, he believed it for months, if not years. And so I would like to say bravo to Anna for coming up with that. And also your brother, kind of a dum-dum, but I mean, God bless him.
Sarah's, man, this makes me feel sad for Sarah. Okay, I'm gonna read this because this isn't that big of a lie, but it seems like she had the worst consequences. Like, I don't think the seal pool person, anything bad happened because of that. Okay, I'm gonna read this from Sarah. So this is this happened during Awana, which I think that's like a Christian summer camp, right?
No, Awana was the missionettes of the Baptist denomination. So,
okay,
like Royal Rangers and Missionettes was Assemblies of God. Awana was Baptist.
And it's probably a lot nerdier than even you're thinking, Jesse.
Okay.
Like, if you're thinking it's pretty cool, it's not.
Okay, so she's at a very nerdy Baptist church thing.
Right.
So she was there. She lived in a rural town in northern Arizona. And each week during the lesson time, they would have a quote unquote contest to see which student would be the quietest. If you won, you got awarded a candy bar and recognized in front of the group. Wow. One week, I was chosen as the quietest student, and this is her, even though I wasn't being quiet during the lesson time and was talking to my friends. I so wanted that candy bar to be recognized that I didn't say anything that I announced that they had won. That seems like their problem, not yours. Like, if they're awarding you for being quiet and you were chatting the whole time, that seems like it's not on you to confess there. She said, when my dad picked me up, I told him I won, even though I had been talking to my friends the whole time. So she's got the little brag to her pops when he rolls in that, hey, you're never going to guess what? I got the candy bar for being quiet, even though I was chatting. He looked at her and said, so you lied. She said, I was instantly mortified. When we got home, he made me take out the phone book, look up the Awana leader's name and number, and call them and confess. No. I was sobbing on the phone because I felt so terrible that I lied at Awana. I don't think I lied for a long time after that. Man. Moral of the story, public shaming works. Yeah, you should have had to gone to Awana with a sandwich board that told everyone that you stole that candy bar, basically, Sarah. But see, it worked. She didn't lie for a long time after that.
We had someone write that he and a friend ran a truck into a ditch at 16 years old. And then, of course, the truck goes into the ditch and they're trying to figure out what to do. And instead of coming home and telling the truth, he told his parents that they were run off the road. So, of course, the parents are like, oh, no, that's so sad. And they get away with the crime. Years later, his wife... they're just sitting around having one of those like adult family conversations. And she says, oh, remember when they told you that they just drove the car off the road. And apparently the parents did not know that. And so at those awkward moments as an adult where you're like, hey, remember that one time? Apparently they did not know and had just found out as an adult that he was run off, that they basically crashed a car and lied about it, which is sort of one that you're not quite laughing about later. You're like, oh, well, that was actually super
messed up. You guys have stuff like that, like stuff that you actually got away with and your parents still don't know?
Right.
Oh, I have tons of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Tons.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, and like at this point, it would only make them like fearful, or if I told them about some of the stupid stuff we did that they didn't know about. You know, Cameron, do you have that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, of course. I remember the most fear I've ever had in my life was at my parents threw me a high school graduation party, like a little dinner, and invited some of my teachers And some of my teachers came, and I had a really good way to keep, separation of church and state. Parents and teachers didn't really know each other,
Yeah.
And my greatest fear was in casual conversation, just laughing about Cameron's antics over the last 4 years. Some of my parents would find out about a bunch of dumb stuff I did at school.
Yeah.
And I mean, all night I'm like on edge. I couldn't even enjoy myself all night. I'm just like, please don't talk.
Oh yeah, no, that's a terrible.
Did anything come up, or did you make it?
No,
through
I got through it, but I just I literally was like the biggest exhale of my life going home from that dinner.
Yeah.
Anyway, because I would have actually gotten in trouble. Like as a graduate, I would have gotten in new trouble as an 18-year-old. So anyway, I was very nervous.
This one's from Jess. This one, she should have to wear the sandwich board like at the Veterans Parade for this one. Did you see this one, Eddie? Jess said that the biggest lie told us as a kid. Okay, first off, the famous. There's like a statue of it of the American soldiers in World War II,
like raising the flag.
Yeah, hoisting the flag at the Battle of Iwo Jima. It's like a famous,
iconic moment in American history.
Beautiful
Beautiful memorial. Yeah.
So Jess decided to tell other people that her grandpa was one of the famous people. It was one of the people in that famous flag picture.
Gosh, what a strange little lie.
She said, to be fair, her grandfather did fight in the Battle of Iwo Jima, but he was definitely not in that picture. And she said, it wasn't like I was mistaken. I knew it was a lie, but somehow being in that picture made her grandfather fighting in Iwo Jima that much cooler. If your grandfather fought in Iwo Jima, that's cool enough. You don't need to spice it up. You're
awesome. 90% of the
your
way
grandfather's a hero. Yeah. Like, why go and undermine it with the flag thing? Like, you already had a great story. I'm impressed that he fought. Like, there's a movie about it. Yeah, a Clint Eastwood directed movie about that. I'm impressed. You don't need to go and throw a lie in there about the statue. But
no.
But that's the thing about kid lies is they're unnecessary. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you're saying, like the true story is impressive enough. You don't need to add the embellishment, But like the kid mind, lying that you have a pool is enough of a lie. You don't need to throw in that you have a pet seal that lives in it, but the kid mind.
Or if you're saying you have a pet seal, I don't need to know he lives it makes it less believable to think he lives in your backyard swimming pool. Like I would think you have some sort of indoor aquarium situation or something. Yeah, exactly. It just makes me doubt you that you would just have him in a backyard pool. That seems like it's against city code. You know what I mean? I didn't even think about the limitations on seal ownership until you threw in the pool thing. Either were pretty believable up to that point,
Oh man. Well, there's a lot more where that came from. Go check them out on our Twitter feed. They're pretty funny. Okay, it's time for this week's
editorial question of the week.
All right. Well, earlier on the show, we got talking about Jesse's proclivity for breaking the ice with celebrities.
Right.
That's right.
His talent, his cheesecake. He knows how to make him, to make a celebrity comfortable.
That's right. I make a lot of people feel very comfortable, and it's all about.
What's one of the main things about you? Your ability to make other people feel comfortable.
It's got us thinking about spotting celebrities out in the wild. We want to know the stories of those of you who have gone up and broken the ice and had an interaction with those celebrities you've seen out in the wild. I'm primarily interested in the ones that didn't go all that well. But so that's the question of the week. Tell us your most memorable or awkward celebrity encounter stories. Now, we do not want any answers of one time I saw Regis getting into a cab. That's not what we're talking about.
Very, very
You
boring.
got into the cab with Regis. There's your story. Okay,
Right,
so we want to know the actual interaction stories of celebrities out in the wild. Did you do anything creative to break the ice? How did it go? We want to know. Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, or you can post your longer stories on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com.
I have one, and I'm hesitant to tell this one, but it's it's very awkward. I was on a plane one time.
Yeah.
And I always chat with people on, you guys know this about me. I'm a very chatty person.
It's the worst thing about you.
It is.
I was chatting with the person next to me, and it was a woman, and we were just, going back and forth. And, she was like, "Oh, where are you headed?" And I was like, "Oh, heading back home." And I can't remember even what the context of the trip
You're
was.
going
So
from
we're-
LA to Virginia Beach, right?
Yeah, it was from LA. Have I told you this story before, Cameron?
Many, many times. I know exactly where it's going, and it's worth sharing.
Yep.
So we're just chit chatting back and forth, and I said, "Well, where are you headed?" She goes, "Well, it's a funny story. There's this contest going on, and someone could like win a date with me, and I'm going to meet this person. They won a contest to win a date with me." I was like, "Oh, well, that's pretty neat." I was like, who put on the contest? And she was like, "Oh, well, I'm actually on the cover of a magazine right now." And she pulled out in the seat in front of me a Playboy magazine with her on the cover of it. And
yikes.
And she was like, "So this is what I do. I'm a model." And I was like, and then she was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Well, you know what? I work for a magazine too." Funny story.
Yeah, it's a little different in scope.
It's
than
a little
yours.
different. Yeah, it's I think our readership may be a little different. And this is literally what she said to me. She's like, "Oh," because she was a little bit older than me at the time. And this is literally what she said after. She goes, "Oh, I'm so relieved to hear that, because the guy that wanted to date with me is about your age, and I was worried it was going to be pretty awkward, but you seem like a nice enough guy." Like, I was setting her mind at ease in that moment.
Because a reader of Playboy who is your age, he's gonna be a normal dude.
Yeah, exactly. It just set her mind at ease. I'll say this. The flight from LA to the East Coast is a long one. When you're sitting next to someone and you just had that interaction, it gets much, much longer. But hey, as far as I know, the date went great. So, yeah, you never know who you're going to meet when you strike up
It
conversations.
was a hard pass when she offered to autograph that copy of the magazine and give it to you.
She did offer me a copy of it, and I didn't want to be rude. I was like, "No, thanks. I don't got room in my bag for that."
Let me actually give you a copy of Relevance.
Why don't you take mine? We'll trade you straight up. Yeah. So, dear Lord.
Like swapping pins.
Yeah.
All right. So hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast. Well, many thanks to Greg Laurie for joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at Greg Laurie, and make sure to check out his new book on Johnny Cash. It's out now. Hey, thanks for listening to today's episode. While you're in your little podcast app there, check out our other podcasts. We are bringing you what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture every weekday with our podcast Relevant Daily. It's about 10 minutes long, keeps you in the know. And also our long form interview podcast, Unedited, with Cameron Strang. Check it out. My guest this week is our friend Propaganda. We talk about a lot of interesting stuff. We solved racism in America. I'll just tell you that right now. All done. Just listen to it. Everybody listen to it, and we'll be good.
Prop is the best. We love him, don't we? I mean, he's just a good person.
Yep. On that note, we'll wrap things up. Now, watch this. This will be the magic of editing. I told you at the beginning of this segment that Annie had to step away. Watch what happens.
Watch.
I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Chandler Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Eddie Kaufholz.
I'm Annie F. Downs.
What?
Wow. Mind blown, guys.
We will see you on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Life just won't quit. But here's some of music's pioneers that time will not allow us to forget now. Well, there's Basie Miller, Timo, and the King of all Surdu.
This is why I always am carrying around a slice of cheesecake.
Relevant Podcast Network.